Did you know that one of your very own College of Southern Maryland professors was a published author? History professor Dr. Cicero Fain wanted to explore the deep yet unknown history of his hometown, Huntington, West Virginia. So he wrote Black Huntington, an Appalachian story, after years of research.
It's a unique, complicated story about the formation of West Virginia. And, the prevailing mythology is primarily the reason why the state was formed because it was anti-slavery. Well, and that's true to a large extent, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was pro-black. And so I wanted to kind of interrogate that equation, that question about how did black people deal with this kind of circumstance.
Professor Fain poured years into researching the deep yet untold stories of a black community that persevered in a nation whose ruling power was not willing to accept them. In his book, he details the many African Americans who came to West Virginia in search of a new life after slavery was abolished, hoping to start anew despite having nothing to their names. One such person is Mary, a former slave.
And one of the questions I pose is, how does she deal with the fact that her owner is going to fight for the Confederate cause? And then in the aftermath of the Confederacy losing, and she's now freed, what's going to be her pathway? I talk about her. I talk about the first black migrants who come from Virginia into the newly formed city. Barnett's being one of the primary names, and they start the first black church. They start schools, and then I kind of tease out throughout the rest of the book the contributions of the Barnetts and how their family grows and the growing affluence and status that they have, including Nelson Barnett, who's one of the first migrants into the Huntington, who is very much an influential figure in early Huntington. I'll trace also the Woodson family, relatives of Carter G. Woodson, the father of Negro history and a first-rate historian.
And this is not his last story either. Another story he wants to tell soon is about a Buffalo soldier named Ringo who deserted his regiment and went on a crazy road of ups and downs for the rest of his life.
That's the germ of my book, to kind of talk about this guy Ringo and his exploits, his travels, his brush with with racism and Jim Crow era, but also the fact that he is the beneficiary of white authorities who uphold the law and who actually come to his defense at key times to avoid being lynched and or incarcerated.
Like he did with Ringo, the Buffalo soldier, in Huntington, he also encourages people and future historians to look up their own local histories.
Talk to your relatives, talk to folk, talk to your elders, talk to family members and tell them the importance of doing it now. And it's so easy these days, too. I can go into this computer right now and access Ancestry.com and find out stuff about my family tree in the blink of an eye. And so for those folks who are interested, maybe that's the place to start. My advice is there's still stories to be told, and yours is just as important as anybody else's.
For more information, please visit news.csmd.edu and search for Dr. Fain.